All right, 20 minutes past 7 now at breakfast. Well, tomorrow, broadcaster Paul Holmes is hosting a black tie charity event to raise funds for the fight against methamphetamine. For Paul, of course, this is an issue that cuts close to the bone. His own daughter, Millie, has had a high-profile struggle with the pee addiction that continues. Paul joins us now from Napier. Good morning to you, Mr Holmes.
Morning to you, Mr Henry. Compliments to your mother, and morning, Ali.
Oh, well, thank you very much. My mother sends compliments to you too. I'm sure Paul should be excited that you mentioned her. This is not your first roasting, is it? It's about 10 years since you were last roasted.
That is true. There was a roasting some years back, that's right. And I don't particularly want to be roasted again because it's quite a savage experience, as a matter of fact, and I'm not particularly good at replying, but it's all at a good cause, and some of the great old speakers are appearing to do this tomorrow night. It's organised really by, well, I suppose in a way I'm hosting it, but the Stella Trust has been formed in Auckland. A group of dedicated Rotarians have put together a trust to try and really do something about pure methamphetamine. This epidemic, which is a scourge, and which is, at this stage of proceedings, seems almost unbeatable. They have put together a trust of the most eminent kind of people. The Reverend Ross Bay, who's the Dean of Holy Trinity in Auckland, Judge Mick Brown, Bill Francis, Detective Inspector Bruce Good, John Graham, former Headmaster of Auckland Grammar, Simon Moore, the Crown Prosecutor, and others. Burton Shipley is on it as well.
These are significant people. These
are significant people, Paul and Ali, and they're from across, society. They're from across the community. You've got a policeman in there. You've got legal people as well.
All right, but what can it? I mean, the thing is, I remember, as you must as well, I remember years and years and years ago talking to people like Greg O'Connor who were warning us that pee was going to be an enormous problem and money needed to be put into tackling it. At the very same time, the government of the day, I can't even remember which government it was now, were reducing funding for the fight against drugs like pee.
Well, I think I think those times have passed. I mean, Greg says we missed the boat on this years back and we could have done something, and now the problem has got rather out of control. I think also some of the people working in the business of drug awareness have got it wrong. We have a policy in New Zealand called harm minimisation, harm reduction. If you go onto one of the drug I think it's the Drug Advisory Council, you go onto the website, they will show you how to use pee safely. Can you believe that? Now, that might have been ridiculous. Increasingly, people are questioning this. Yeah. And this might have been fine 10 years ago, because basically that policy says drugs are here and we've got to deal with them and here's how you use them safely. But we know now there is no safe use of pure methamphetamine. It's a terrible problem. It is a tragedy for young people. It is a tragedy for families.
Absolutely. Now, we can all agree that the Stella Trust is made up of a group of well-meaning, intelligent people who should be able to make a difference. But how will the Trust make a difference?
Well, this is exactly that. I mean, this is the great question. But the significant thing about the Stella Trust is that it brings people from right across the areas or the disciplines, if you like, that deal with the effects of drug abuse. The main purpose of tomorrow night, and I think the real breakthrough about tomorrow night's dinner, is that it is simply to create awareness of the problem, to make sure that people across the board in our community realise we've really got something very destructive on our hands here. That's the main thing. Yeah. See, people don't know, Paul. People don't, I mean, I can sit here right in the middle of it, of course, but unless you've had real experience of a family member who has spiralled downwards because of pure methamphetamine, you don't know the pernicious evilness of this drug. The way it affects not only the person who's addicted, becomes addicted to it, but the family members as well. Brothers, fathers, mothers. It's just awful.
People know about your very, very personal, the way your family, the way you've been very personally touched by the scourge of pee. Quickly, Millie, what is her situation now? I mean, can you see the day where methamphetamine will be behind her?
God, I hope so. You have to hope so, don't you? But the thing about
is there more than hope there, though? Can you actually see it? Can you see that?
No, I don't wish to discuss. If you don't mind, Paul, the problem's bigger than our particular situation. I don't really want to talk about that. But the thing is, let me say this: there is. In pee addiction, there's something like a 4 to 5% recovery rate. Yeah, that's what we're up against, and that's why we've got to do something. And this is a drug across the age groups. I know 40-year-olds who have lost businesses. People have had branch offices all around New Zealand, lost the lot. 30-year-olds, 20-year-olds, 15, 16-year-olds, and it's across the whole. It's across, the whole. You can be in the Remuera, you can be in Herne Bay, you can be in Blockhouse Bay. It takes no prisoners, this drug. And so I'll speak a bit about what I know about families' experiences tomorrow night when I answer these roasters. But the main thing about tomorrow night is that we finally have a trust of a cross-disciplinary group of people and significant people who say, we've got to do something.
All right. The roasting itself, and you touched on this just a weenie bit, I mean, you don't exactly know what these people are going to come up with. As I said, it's been about 10 years since your last roasting, and probably there's been a few things happening in your life worth having a go at you about since then, I would say.
No, I would say so, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would say so.
I would think so.
Who do you most have to worry about? I've looked at the list of people that'll be roasting you, and, I mean, some of them you can reasonably trust, but Tom Scott, a funny, clever man, he could really have a go. Yeah,
Tom Scott could have a go. Jeanette MacDonald could have a good go. Jim Hopkins can sometimes have the gloves off. Gary McCormick is very good. Who else? And Tim Shadbolt, of course. Now they're all very good, very funny people, but they're people too, with a good heart. And the wonderful thing about this group of people, I've known them a very long time, and they all agreed to do it with no charge and to come all the way to Auckland for the dinner tomorrow night to do it.
Brilliant. But, now the dinner is Sky City, as you say, tomorrow night. Are there any tickets left?
There could be a few tables left if people were to make inquiries of, well, Julie Coney is the person to speak to on that, and she's should I give the number?
I don't know. Yeah, let's give it a go. Why not? Why wouldn't we do that?
021 333 021 333
No one says quadruple three anymore, but never mind.
Well, there you go, 333 00.
All right. Thank you very much, Paul. All the very best for tomorrow night.
Very good, Paul. Thank you, Ali.
Thank you.
Thanks, Paul. I can't believe you've just given Julie Coney's number out on air. Oh, well.
Wasn't me. Paul Holmes did it.